Hello friends, let me tell you a story. Manav is a young boy who secretly falls in love with a girl called Sandra, but somehow he could never talk to her and tell her about his feelings. Then one fine day he actually, gathers all the courage and prepares himself and confronts Sandra and proposes to her. Now, but it so happens that Sandra somehow rejects the proposal, and this leaves a very deep impact on Manav. Manav somehow changes his mindset and carries on for the next few days. But it so happens that after a few days, he happens to again see Sandra, and the moment he sees Sandra, that same memory of what happened that day, it comes back, and a circuit in his brain gets activated which makes him revisit the entire incident, including the shame and the rejection associated with it. He somehow manages to go back home and distract his mind the entire day. But in the night, when he's calm, that same incident again flashes back with activation of the same brain circuit where he again goes through that feeling of rejection and shame. And this continuously keeps happening off and on in the next few days till Manav actually undergoes a depression. So, do you relate to it? Because many of us go through similar incidences in different ways in our life, which creates such a big impact on our mind, on ourselves, that we are not able to live to our full potential. We don't live a happy life. We somehow are inhibited because of these impacts that we have on our mind, on our brain. So what can be done for this? This brings about a concept called as brain rewiring. And this is based on a scientifically documented research based on the functional connectivity of different centers in the brain and something which is called as neuroplasticity, which has been extensively studied and found to be possible in especially small children who undergo trauma to certain eloquent areas. And when they undergo this trauma, over a period of time, they can regain the function of those damaged areas, either in the adjacent brain or sometimes even in the opposite hemisphere, and once again develop those same functions which were damaged because of different causes of trauma. Now, interestingly, is it possible to apply the same concept in different emotional and mental states of imbalances that we so often encounter? So friends, look forward for further videos and posts soon where you will actually understand in details what exactly brain rewiring can do and how is it possible to actually rewire our brains and live a life which we always wanted to live happily and with our full potential. In medical science, there are various methods and techniques being devised in order to enhance the positive patterns with the help of neuroplasticity in the brain. For example, creation of certain puzzles or games, or helping one to learn a new language. In fact, in few research, it has been found that the Sanskrit language helps in preventing memory loss and is being researched in treatment of patients with Alzheimer's disease. Apart from all these things, neuroscientists are focusing on a very interesting field of activation of what is called as the default mode network, or the DMN, which gets activated when one is at rest and one is not performing any explicit motor task. After a lot of scientific research, what has been found is that the best way in order to enhance your default mode network is by various kind of spiritual practices, such as, for example, meditation, mantra chanting, breath watch, and similar other spiritual practices. What has also been found, interestingly, in long-term meditators is that certain areas in the brain, for example, amygdala, which is responsible for stress and anxiety, that shrinks and becomes smaller in volume, and other areas, for example, the hippocampus, which is responsible for memory and learning, is actually found to increase in size over a long period. So, in short, your default mode network can be enhanced in such a way that you can remain positive, be in the present moment, and live a completely balanced life. In the Maitri Bodh Parivar, there is a very profound spiritual practice which is called as the Maitri Shakti Prabha, which is a process of divine energy transfer, which has also been scientifically studied in a preliminary pilot study. And it has been found to be very useful to enhance one's emotional health. To know more about Maitri Shakti Prabha, do look forward for the upcoming video.